Hey guys, this is my new 1996 Jaguar XJ12. I say new because it's new to me. Bought this car 3 months ago. I always wanted a V12 and was super excited to see that I could get one at a reasonable price. I could not believe that I could pick up a car like this for $3,000. That's what I paid for it. And I had a lot of problems when I got it. Nothing major. When I opened the hood for the first time, it was not this clean. It was just covered in a layer of dirt and power steering fluid, which is real common. There was a leak up here at the pump, and that fan there just blew it all down the engine, all on the underside. I cleaned this car for 3 days before I finally got it presentable. Anyways, super excited about it now. The more I work on it, the more I drive it, the happier I am with it. If anybody's an expert with these and sees anything missing or wrong in my video, please let me know in the comments. I'll briefly try to remember all the work I've done these past 3 months. It's kind of why I'm doing this video. I want to document that for myself later and show off my new car, of course. So I'll start from the front. These radiator bushings were completely missing when I got it, and the radiator was bouncing around in there. Luckily, it doesn't seem to be damaged at all, thank God, because I don't believe you can find a new one anywhere at any price. You just have to try to find a used one, I guess. I don't know what I would do if this radiator was bad. It'll be a big problem if that ever happens. Replaced all the hoses, all the coolant hoses. The cooling system in this car needs to be maintained very well. This is a big engine. It takes 4 gallons of cooling fluid. So yeah. Let's see what else have I done. New belts up here. The water pump was rebuilt. What else? Power steering pump had to be rebuilt. It was just spraying fluid out the axle seal, I think it's called. And also there was a leak over there. Let's see, I can't really show. Let me go to the other side of the car real quick. British Racing Green is the color, by the way. Beautiful paint. A few scratches here and there, but no dents. Even more beautiful interior, which I think is pretty common for these vintage Jaguars to have decent interiors. This one's just damn near perfect. Okay, there's the power steering pump down in there. If you can see it, right there she is. Nice and clean now. So yeah, there was also a hose leaking. There's a hose that goes from this reservoir to the pump that was leaking profusely. That new hose is $280, which I refuse to pay. I actually found a 2004 Lexus hose, fits it quite well. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to show you that hose because there's just too much stuff in the way, but trust me on that. I'll put a link in the description if you have the same problem and want to buy a hose for 10% of the cost. That Lexus hose was $20. Of course, both the thermostats were replaced. Some of these hoses had to be replaced. The big hoses that I wanted to replace as a preventive measure is down there. Those are the oil hoses. I've heard that they go bad in these cars, so I replaced both of those. What else did I do? Oh, she idled kind of rough, which worried me. I was going to send the fuel injectors off. I replaced the spark plugs. I did stuff I didn't need to do because the actual problem was right here. This is the idle control valves. There's 2 of them, one on the other side. It was all gummed up with carbon, and this one over here was actually stuck, which was throwing out some codes as well associated with that. So all I had to do was clean it with some alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and yeah. And I also cleaned the throttle body out, and now she idles so smooth that I can barely tell the car is running from the inside. It's pretty cool. These bushings were gone here. Pretty common, I've heard. Throttle linkage bushings, but those are easy to find at the dealer. What else did I do? Boy, it was so dirty down in here that I think I went through a case of brake cleaner. It was bad. Just in probably 4 or 5 rolls of paper towels under this whole section here. Just from that power steering fluid, just God knows how many thousands of miles it was just flying out over the engine, and in a layer of grease and dirt would build upon that. Luckily I didn't find any oil leaks back here. That's fairly common. Nothing there. Since I'm looking at the transmission, that reminds me I replaced the solenoids and the speed sensors on the transmission. I was able to do that with the exhaust in place. Kind of a pain, but doable. I did that because that was a preventive measure for those go bad a lot, I've been told, and they're only about $100 for the solenoids and the speed sensors. Lubed up the throttle cable, the assembly here. What else did I do? Let's see, trying to remember. Oh, these, when I charged up the AC, both of these charge ports, the high and the low, there's a little ball down in there. Actually want to do this and hear if I hear a hiss. I did not. Good. Those little rubber balls down in there, probably all this heat this engine produces warps the balls, I would guess, but it was leaking out as soon as I charged it up. I did replace the AC condenser as well. Not really sure why I did that, except that the previous owner had one brand new in a box that came with the car. It was the wrong one, but I assumed since he had a new one and paid all that money that it needed a new one, so I returned it for the correct one. Correct one is a 471-1349 is the part number. What else did I do up here? Lots and lots of cleaning is really what I did. Anyways, after all that work, boy, she sounds great. Let me start her up and let you listen to her. Beautiful interior I was talking about earlier. This seat had a little bit of cracking down there, a little bit of a black spot around the cracking. I got some seat dye put on it, and it looks as new. The rest of the interior needed zero work. It was just immaculate. Oh, the radio needed a little bit of work. The backlighting was out on it. I had to take it apart and replace some resistors on that main board on the other side. Now the backlighting will come on the radio. Clock had to be rebuilt. Very common. There's some dash lights are out and some headlights are out. No big deal. Let's start her up. 101,000 miles on the clock. Here she goes. Let's turn the music down. That idle. Turn off the air. Feels nice and cool now. Nice and smooth idle. Barely feel any vibration on the wheel. I wouldn't be surprised if I try to start this car sometime. Not even realizing the engine's running already. It's so smooth. V12 motors. So cool to finally own one. This vent here was, the back was broken and these vanes were going every which direction. I had to track down a new vent and pull the parts out and fix it. Not too difficult. Beautiful floor mats. I forget what these things are called. A little fluffy. And they were missing the correct hold downs here, but I found those in the dealer. Good deal. Idling, nice and smooth. I was having a little bit of a squeal from one of these new belts. Let me see if that's gone. Well, she runs great. Shift smooth too. Those new solenoids in place. And the paint real quick. No sun fading at all. There's some scratches. You may can see in the video, you may not. Yeah, there they are. See them? I think I actually did that. I put a box up there, didn't realize I had a staple in the bottom of it, and I drug it across, pulling it down in a cardboard box. And I think I did that. I feel really bad about that. Maybe I figured out a way to make that look a little bit better, but that body's great. Paint's great. British Racing Green. A little bit of brake work on the fronts. Gonna have to drop that lower subframe and replace some bushings. But honestly, driving it doesn't feel too bad. Somebody has replaced at least the front shocks and the bushings in the front shocks, and I think they did some work on the sway bar too. So maybe that's part of the reason it's not too bad. But I do hear a little bit of banging coming from the front end. Very common in these cars. It's going to be a big job dropping that front assembly down and replacing the bushings. But I'm up for it. I don't like this car too much not to do it. Yeah, this is my new ride. My new daily driver. There's the only body damage. No idea how that happened. I have an idea how I'm going to fix it though. Try to fiberglass it from the back and fill it with some body filler. prime it. Get the fans kick on. And yeah, prime it. And then you can buy British Racing paint, British Racing green spray paint in a can fairly cheaply. So I'm gonna see how that turns out. If that doesn't work, then do something else. Yeah, here she is. Thanks for watching.